What's up, YouTube? It's me, Demi, here with a long-awaited update. I haven't posted a video on this character in like a couple of years, I think, but it's on my list of builds to update for this league, so I've gone ahead and done that. This is my, wow, I don't know what I'm doing. This is my Righteous Fire Chieftain. This was actually one of the first builds that I ever made that actually did really well on YouTube and on the forums. And it's still just as strong as it was then, so I'm just gonna like, let me grab a random map here, I don't know, let's do a Minotaur or something. It's just like really boring is how I would word it. High praise, I know. For those of you that want a build that is boring, here you go. But it's just stupidly tanky, that's why. There's not much to do on it because you're an RF build, you just kind of walk around and shit dies around you. So that is just, I don't know, if you like that sort of thing, if you want to be a really tanky character and then just walk around and blow stuff up, I mean, not even blow stuff up, just like wait for it to die standing next to you, then you can play this character. If you don't like that concept, I definitely do not recommend playing this. I haven't like played this build seriously since Lab came out. If that gives you an idea on a time frame. It's been a while. Like, it's still a good character, but it's not anything to write home about, you know? And I have my key bindings all weird, so they're just not playing well, you know, it's great. You want to farm Lab, you want to do maps and be just like slow, steady, walk around, stuff dies. This is a great build for you. It's kind of annoying though, because we now have to maintain endurances through Enduring Cry instead of with the old Chieftain. We got them whenever we killed burning enemies, so that's kind of annoying. But other than that, I mean, just wander around, shield charge into packs, apply that L equilibrium, melt things, and then just enjoy your life. It's just super chill, that's all it is. I don't have to do anything ever. If I want to play this character and stand next to Shaper, I can. Why? Okay, I thought there was a path there. Apparently not. I'm still missing a couple things. I haven't played this character in so long that I sold off the like jewelry and ring, or the boots and gloves and shit. So I'm missing some of the pieces to be perfectly min-max. My apologies. It's been a while. I just want to get a quick like PV update. So the forum guide is linked in the description of this video. It has all of the relevant information on everything. If you want to know like why I choose certain gems or all that other stuff, Pantheon choices, bandits, you just kill all. Just basic stuff. That's all in the forum guide. Gear stat priorities for jewels, gems, items in every slot, unique alternatives, all that stuff's in the forum guide. Yeah, let's go pay a visit to Minotaur with no endurances because I haven't been using Eternal or Immortal, whatever the fuck. Oh my god, Enduring Cry. Yeah, you just kind of hang out, and because you're so tanky, it's just really boring. The Molten Shell changes kind of suck. I used to get life leech off my Molten Shell, but they changed it so I can't leech off of it anymore because it's reflected damage. So that's kind of frustrating. I actually like that part of the build. I thought that was one of the unique things that I did for it, and it just doesn't matter anymore. Oh look, we did it. Great job, everyone. So let's go ahead and get into the skill tree, ascendancy choices, and all that other good stuff. So, we are a Chieftain. Why are we a Chieftain? Because it's thematic, we're fire, we burn things. It's just what the ascendancy's dealt for, or made for. Life regen and lots of fire damage. Defensive-wise, we have a dickload of fire res and a huge amount of life regen. So, ascendancy-wise, in order, you're going to go for Ramako Sun's Light first. This gives you 15% more burning damage. It's a great multiplier. And then we go for Testalio Cleansing Water. This gives you some life regen. Fizz Taken is fire, which is a good defensive buff for physical damage. We also get 50% increased life recovery rate, which is a multiplier to our overall regen if we've taken fire damage from an enemy hit recently, which, because of the Fizz Taken as fire, is any physical hit ever. You also get 100% fire res, so you don't really need to think about that while leveling up. After that, you're going to take Hinekora, Death's Fury. This gives us 20% chance to cover rare or unique enemies in Ash for 10 seconds on hit, blah, blah, blah. That means you have a 20% chance to make enemies take 20% increased fire damage, which is another more multiplier. We don't have any fire damage up front, so we don't get to leech that. And we do actually benefit heavily from the strength, because as you can tell, I'm a very beefy Chieftain. I have 1284 strength. It's pretty great. After that, I couldn't really decide what I wanted to take, so you could take this if you wanted to use a totem, Scorching Ray totem or something. That would work. But I don't really know. I guess, sorry, this one. For the enemies take 60% increased fire damage and deal less damage. That would be good. If you wanted to do a Scorching Ray totem set up somewhere, you could take that. But I just opted for damage per endurance charge, basically. Sometimes I get an endurance charge when I use Flame Dash, but this is basically just 5% fire damage per endurance charge. As for the skill tree, you're a Righteous Fire character, so that means you need a lot of life, because Righteous Fire deals damage based on how much life you have, and a lot of life regen to mitigate how much damage Righteous Fire deals to you. So you just take a bunch of life and life regen nodes, basically. Cannot be stunned, percent increased strength, more life, more armor, max fire res, max endurance charges, max res here, even more life regen, life nodes, movement speed, you know, it's literally just life regen. A little bit of fire damage here. I'm not level 100 yet, so I'm missing like 9 skill points worth of life, but I should be able to push 10k plus life once I finish leveling up. Up here we get some more damage, some more AoE damage, elemental damage, you know. Equilibrium, this is important. This gives enemies negative 50% fire res. With my Orbo Storms or my shield charge, I apply non-fire damage, so that means I get to give enemies negative 50 fire res, which is pretty good on our damage multiplier. We have Ellie Overload, which is 40% more damage if we've crit in the past 8 seconds. Because it's generic more elemental damage, it does apply to Righteous Fire. This is one of our main damage scaling things, so Orbo Storms, shield charge, all of that stuff can have a chance to crit. That gives us 40% more damage. We get some burning damage up here, some more life, some more jewel sockets, some more life, and another endurance charge. So, things that scale Righteous Fire. This goes for every piece of gear that you have, all of your jewels, whatever. Fire damage, burning damage, elemental damage, damage over time, area damage, and increased damage. Any of that applies to Righteous Fire. Spell damage does not. So don't get spell damage and expect it to help your RF. So all of my jewels are just like damage, life, you know, basic stuff. Damage, life, attack speed for your shield charge, damage, life, damage, attack speed. My jewels are really shit. Life damage. I had like life triple damage jewels a long time ago, but I've sold them all by this point, so I don't have good jewels anymore. That one's still perfect. That's one of the better rolls. Ideally, a perfect RF jewel would be fire damage prefix, life prefix, and then burning damage suffix, and damage over time or damage suffix, because that applies to your RF and potentially Scorching Ray if you wanted to use that. I don't even have a setup for one right now, but you could have a 6-link Scorching Ray somewhere if you wanted. Yeah, Pantheon-wise, I'm using Soul Solaris and Soul Tukohama for the Fizz mitigation. For bosses, since I'm just standing there, this works. So you can also switch to Growth Coal for Fizz mitigation for each hit you've taken recently, or Abrath for fire damage taken while moving. When you're running around, you take less fire damage from your RF. It's great. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get into our gearing choices. So, because I have a dickload of strength, the only like unique that I use 2 uniques, sorry. Dune Kubiari gives you 1% increased damage per 8 strength while in main hand. Right? So I have 1,284 strength. Let me pull up a calculator real quick. That's 160% increased damage, just straight up, which is, you know, pretty good. Considering that if you use something like a Doriani's Catalyst, that's only 132% damage, and that's not including the implicit on this, so it's actually 192% increased damage for my Righteous Fire for this weapon. I also get some cast speed, which I guess doesn't help me much, but you know, it's just decent. You get level 30 Iron Will as well, which I believe can still link to Molten Strike. Yeah, so I can apply all of my strength bonus to my spells in this weapon, so my Molten Shell does a dickload of damage, which is nice. What else we got here? Other unique is a Rise of the Phoenix. Rise of the Phoenix gives you max fire res, which is, you know, and you take less damage, so I guess I should explain Righteous Fire mechanics. You burn for 90% of your maximum life per second as fire damage. So the more maximum fire res you have, the less damage you take. It's basically just your life regen multiplied by, or going against how much damage you're burning for. So if I have 10k life, I'm burning for 9k life per second. But if I have 90% fire res, I only take 900 damage from that 9k burning damage. And then you can just stack life regen to out regen that, basically, you know? It's kind of confusing, but if you have enough regen, you shouldn't even notice your Righteous Fire being on, which I do not. So yeah, you just get max fires from this. The rest of your gear is just rares with life resist strength on them. Remember, we want strength, so get that roll. You prioritize T1 life, T1 strength. If you can get hybrid life on top of it, great. You'll need a little bit of lightning damage to attacks on either a ring, or lightning or cold damage, doesn't matter. Ring or amulet or whatever, just so you can apply your equilibrium correctly on your shield charge. But other than that, life resist strength on your boots, movement speed as well. Rings, life resist strength, some dex if you need it, life resist strength, int if you need it as well, life resist strength. So Chest piece, life resist strength, life regen. I have percent increase. This chest is really fucking good. This belt is an Elder Stygian with an insane amount of life and increased attributes and strength and life recovery rate and damage. It's everything we've ever wanted. This belt is nearly perfect. The only problem with it is tier 2 life. But that's okay. It's 3% life, whatever. Chest piece, I think, is basically perfect. Other than if I Eternal Slam for T1 strength, which would give me another like 30 strength or so. But I'm pretty happy with the chest. And then the helmet. So if you can afford to get an Elder helmet, you can start by getting an Elder helmet that has either burning damage or conk effect on it. That'll give you a 5 link. If you can get an Elder helmet that has burning damage and conk effect on it, that'll give you a 6 link. If you have an Elder helmet that has burning damage, conk effect, and more elemental damage, 7 link. Pretty good for deeps. Otherwise, you just go for life resist, you know. This helmet has been mirrored probably like 40 or 50 times because it was one of my first really good mirror items. But there are better ones now. You can get negative fire res as an aura from a fossil, so instead of that cold res, you could have negative 9% fire res. You get even more damage out of your helmet. This is great. Enchantment-wise, you're gonna want Righteous Fire damage in your helmet. Glove, you're gonna want Commandment of Light in your gloves, which is a Consecrated Ground proc whenever you take a crit, which gives you like 6% life regen on top of all your other regen. It's really nice. Boot enchant, you should have life regen if you've been hit recently, 2% from Uber Lab. I don't have any of those except for my helmet enchant because I haven't played this character in years, but you know. What else is there? Abyssal Socket in your belt if you can get it, or in your tree. Somewhere you want to have a chance to get Onslaught on Kill, basically. So this is life dot while holding a shield, which I am, and Onslaught on Kill. Hooray! What else is there? Oh god. Corruptions, I guess. Useful corruptions. If you can get a +1 or +2 AoE or +2 aura, Rise of the Phoenix, great. Or you can get... I don't even know. Aspect of the Spider somewhere would be good. I'm missing that currently. That's why I have so much mana unreserved. I should have Aspect of the Spider, but I don't. So let's go ahead and get into gem links. Your main DPS links for Righteous Fire will be Righteous Fire, Efficacy, Elemental Focus, and then increased AoE / conk effect, which I have from the helmet, so I'm getting both. Burning damage is really good as well. So your 6 link would be RF, Efficacy, Elemental Focus. Burning damage is a 4 link. 5 link would be increased AoE / conk effect. 6 link, you can do a lot of other stuff. If you wanted to go pure DPS, you can actually drop this increased AoE and this efficacy, and you can put in Swift Affliction combined with Arcane Surge. This is really stupid, but Arcane Surge, for some unknown reason, gives Righteous Fire a duration tag. Even though it says it has one there, it doesn't work unless you link. It only applies to the Vol Righteous Fire side of things. If you have a Vol Righteous Fire gem, you get Righteous Fire and Vol RF, so that's good. Get that. But this gives you a duration tag, so you can actually link Swift Affliction to it, which will give you a 44% more damage multiplier instead of a 24% more damage multiplier there. But for generic use, I tend to use increased AoE efficacy. Other gem links in your Dune Kubiari, I have a cast damage taken setup maxed out, so it gets the more multiplier to damage. And because I have so much fucking life, that's only like a third of my life anyway. Link to my Molten Shell with... We have a decent amount of armor, but not a lot. If I had a Basalt or a Granite Flask, I'd probably have like 15+ K armor. But Molten Shell gives you a shield, it absorbs damage based on your armor, and it reflects all of that damage as fire damage. It's just stupid. It used to have Leech as well, but they killed that, so I just want to increase duration on it instead now. In my shield, I have Purity Fire, Vitality. Vitality gives us life regen. Purity Fire gives us max fire res. I have an Enduring Cry in here as well for the Endurance Charge gen. I also have another Caster Damage Taken setup, again maxed out because I have so much fucking life. Caster Damage Taken, linked to Summon Stone Golem for the life regen, Summon Holy Relic for the life regen Consecrated Ground buff, and Vortex for the Elemental Equilibrium proc, as well as giving enemies a chill so they don't do as much damage to us that are close. In my gloves, I have a Shield Charge, Fortify, Culling Strike, Faster Attack setup just for movement. And then in my chest piece, I have a weird little setup here. There's a lot of things going on here. So, Caster Damage Taken, super low level, so that anytime anything hits us, it casts. Linked to a Ball of Lightning, which procs our LE Equilibrium, but it also hits a lot, so it has a chance to crit, which is pretty reliable LE Overload proc, you know? And then I have that linked to a Curse on Hit Flammability. A lot of people run into this problem where they keep their Flammability super low level, which means that the Cast No Damage Taken support is trying to cast Flammability, but it can't cast it because it's linked to Curse on Hit, so it just does nothing. Level this Flammability out of range of your Cast No Damage Taken. This says level 38 or lower. This requires level 72, so it can't cast it, but it can Curse on Hit with my Ball Lightning. I also have it linked to an Orb of Storms, so that when I want to actually manually curse things, I can. And then I have a flame dash in here because I didn't know where else to put the flame dash. So if you had an unset ring, you put that there, and then you could put like an increased crit setup here. But this is like a very multi-purpose 6-link. If you could just get a 4-link to start out with, that'll be fine. I would recommend Orb of Storms, Curse on Hit, Flammability in your chest at first. And if you can get a 4-link, throw in a flame dash somewhere or whatever, or a, you know, cast damage taken while lightning setup if you have a 5-link. There's a lot of options there. As for Flask, you're going to want to use a Ruby Flask for the less fire damage taken. Taste of Hate gives you some physical mitigation, and Equilibrium proc if you don't have it already for your Fleet Shield charge, but you can use this, you can use a Granite Flask, you could use a Ruby's Concoction, basically any defensive flask. Life Pot with Freeze Immunity and a Bleed Immune Basalt. Doesn't matter too much on this as long as you have a Quicksilver and a Ruby Flask and some kind of Life Recovery Flask. You can use an Onslaught Flask, you can use another Ruby Flask, you could use 2 Life Pots, totally up to you. It's a super generic, you just stack strength and life, and then you stand next to things and they die. You're a chieftain. That's what you do. You're an angry, flamey boy. There's a lot of ways you can improve this. You could improve the links, I'm sure. You could customize them to your liking. You could get 9 more levels and get 12k life if you really tried. You can wear a Calm's Heart. I don't care. Like, do whatever you want to the character. It's just a workhorse. It's been around forever. It will be around forever. If you like the playstyle, play it. If you don't, I recommend doing something else. But yeah, thanks for watching. Again, the forum guide is in the description. If you want to support me in what I do, you can subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment. Check out my Patreon. Thank you all to my Patreons as well. Their names are on the credit screen for a reason. If you want to buy some merch, do that as well. Other than that, I'll see you on Twitch or Discord, and that'll be Demi out. Thank you for watching.